In today's hay markets, you know quality is everything. Weather is the main factor that determines the quality and price of your crop.
Even normal years, it's probably 5 days actually with us.
Do you always get perfect haying weather? Even if you're irrigating the desert, you know weather can still get you. And if you're like this operator, you know that patience is not the answer for top quality hay. Ag Shield's new ReCon 200 is what you've been looking for. It really speeds up your haying operation.
Curing time, we dropped, after we started conditioning with the reconditioner, we dropped down to about 3 days, and then we were able to bale.
The experts say that drying is 20% sun and 80% air movement. Compare your swaths with these. The high swaths on the left will catch even the lightest breeze and speed drying significantly. You've probably tried the old standby wheel rake.
When you're in the export market and you're trying to get that hay down to 12%, you cannot do it unless you do something to that swath to turn it or turn it upside down. If you use a rake, you end up gathering, I feel anyway, you end up gathering quite a bit of brown material and mixing it in and dirt in your swath. You need something different than that because the name of the game is to try and keep the color in the hay.
They tend to tighten the windrow into a slow-drying rope and are really tricky to set in heavy crops.
We have a rotary rake is what we used, and this kind of stuff, and it just didn't compare at all to what this reconditioner did.
Slow speeds can be a real problem. Another alternative is the Swath Inverter.
We were running into some difficulty with the swath turner because of the size of our swaths, bunching, plugging, and that kind of a thing.
These don't tighten the swath as bad as the rake, but they can leave it lumpy and cause uneven drying. Compare these to the new Ag Shield ReCon 200. Its aggressive action re-crimps the swath and fluffs it up. You can flip the swath left or right onto dry ground, or throw two light swaths into one for large capacity balers. All this can be adjusted on the go from the tractor seat. If alfalfa is your crop, give it 24 to 48 hours after cutting and conditioning to wilt down.
We'll cut it first thing in the morning or last thing that night, let it sit a day, and go the day after with the alfalfa.
Re-crimping will lift up and fluff the swath. Drying is speeded up enough that you can often bale later that day. Some folks found they saved 1 to 3 days to baling time. It's easy on leaves too.
The other thing is we also do alfalfa, and I expected to see more leaf loss from alfalfa. We maybe run it through the machine a little earlier than we would the Timothy, but I expect to see a lot more leaf loss than actually happens.
For those of you in the export Timothy business, this machine was designed for you. No more buying run-out hay binds to get a makeshift reconditioner. Some of the farmers who grew hemp on an experimental basis in 1998 found that the only way to make a bale with any density was to run the stalks through a reconditioner. This made a real difference in baling the fiber portion of the plant. The Ag Shield ReCon 200 has aggressive steel rolls designed and built to run faster and longer than anything else you've seen.
The difference primarily is the ability to handle the swath, physically pick it up and put it through the machine at a high speed. Virtually as you can travel as fast as the field will allow your ground conditions to stay on the tractor.
The ReCon 200 has enough power and speed to get your swaths up and moving. Blow the brown leaf out, re-crimp and invert the swath in one high-speed pass.
And then with the ReCon, if you get it set to it just picks up that swath, you're not gathering any of that brown material in it.
As a bonus, you can place a swath left, center, or right on the fly. Just hit the hydraulics. Field speeds are fast.
It's amazing to me at the ability of that machine to be able to pick that swath up at a high speed and do the job. I was quite surprised that it could pick up the swath so complete and not leave very much left in the field.
20 to 40 acres per hour is possible.
We like the speed of it. You can go out and do 60 acres quite easily in just in a morning's run. It's not a big thing at all. Like Brian was probably, or like my son was traveling somewhere around, well, anyway, 10 to 12 mile an hour.
Ag Shield builds the ReCon 200 tough and simple. The roll drive is self-contained. Simply slip the pump on a PTO shaft and plug in the 2 hydraulic circuits, and any 60 horse or larger tractor can run it. Rocks aren't a problem either. Small ones go through and the large ones just make noise when you go over them. The rubber deflector protects you and the tractor from any flying junk that the rolls might flip up. Plugging isn't a problem either. ReCon lifts 26 inches to let you cross swaths or back up as you require. When the machine is in the full up position, the rolls open so you can back out a wad easily, although this is seldom required. This one machine does the job of many and is truly affordable. In fact, the ReCon 200 is a piece of equipment the hay farmer can't afford not to have if he is interested in top quality hay.